like synced up the entire game?
Wow, you know, a lot of it, bro, honestly, is chemistry. You guys are friends, right? That's 90% of it. You guys have to have good chemistry. I've been in bands where the chemistry is not right, and it feels weird, and so the band never clicks. But you've got you know, the big job right there, taking care of. You guys are friends, and I think the best thing to do is just when you're playing together, listen to each other. You know, it's not all about the drummer, it's not all about the guitar, it's not all about the bass. It's about, you know, the band. You know, so listen to each other when you're writing and when you're playing, and you know, throw things off of each other. If you have an issue with the guitar, say, you know what, dude, I think you should be doing this, or, you know, it feels weird if you're doing that, or pull back. I mean, you guys all have good ideas, obviously, and you all want to be in a band, so listen to each other, you know, and work together, you know, play together. That's the great thing about being in a band. It's a band. It's not like one guy, you know. It's kind of a cool thing.
Also, can we take a picture with you?
Oh, sure, yeah, we're done here. That'd be great. Yeah, you tell me.
Pictures.
Yes, the guy in black.
How hard was it for you to get your first performance?
Oh, gosh, you know, I actually got my first major gig. I was 16, and I was in a band called The Enemy. Ooh, scary. And we actually toured with Blue Oyster Cult and Foghat, which I don't even know if you guys even know who those guys are.
I do.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Are you feeling younger right now?
Yes, I am. So yeah, you know, that's how I started, and the funny thing is once I did that, it just kind of took off. I started playing with guitarists in San Francisco, and then I met Neil Sean, the guitarist for Journey, and then I joined Bad English, and then Paul Rogers, and I had a stint with Ozzy, and then been in Journey for 17 years.
Were you able to, like, just like you and a group of friends just start a band, or were you like, I'm a drummer, I'm going to come for
Well, you know,
whoever wants me to...
Yeah, I was in bands, and I did that for a while, but, you know, none of those bands ever came to fruition. They never really went anywhere. I knew what I was going to do. I knew, and once I started playing, I started getting offers. People would hear about me, go, I want you to play on this record, I want you to play on this. I mean, I played on over 70 records, you know, so I've done a lot of stuff, and it's because it's who you know. It really is who you know.
I've heard people say that as a professional musician, every job you do isn't the audition for the next job.
It is very much so. Exactly, Isaac. And that's the truth, man. You're only as good as your last performance. You got to be better every time, and you always got to raise your game. I mean, when I'm playing live, and I know Dee will attest to this, I play like it's my last show ever. I mean, I make sure that I give it my A game, and I'm focused, and I'm on task, and I make sure I play the best I can every night. And that's just the way I roll. I love it like that, you know. Yes?
All right, so me and a few friends, we're in a band together, and do you have any advice for us to get, like, started?
Well, you know, like I was telling the gentleman back here, you guys are friends. You know, if you guys are friends, just my advice, just play. And honestly, if you can learn any style of music, learn them all. It's really important to learn every style of music because you never know, you know, what the flavor of the month is. I've been fortunate, you know, with Journey for 17 years. We have that formula. We know what we're going to do. This is how we are. This is who we are. This is what we've written. But yeah, just, you know, learn every style and just, you know, be friends. It's the biggest thing. You have a lot of bands you hear about that they want to kill each other. That's the last thing you want to do when you're trying to create music, is to be around a bunch of guys that want to kill each other or girls that want to kill each other. You're going to hear it in the music. It's amazing how you do. So that's my advice. Just, you know, play what you love, play what you feel, and learn as many styles as you can. Yes?
What is your favorite song?
My favorite song of all time?
Yeah.
You're going to laugh. You're going to love this. James Taylor, Fire and Rain. That's my favorite song of all time. I remember being 6 years old and walking around with the
Transistor?
Yes, the transistor radio with one, you know, and I would walk up and down, and that was one of my favorite songs. Still is to this day. I love that song. And I listen to some heavy stuff like Slipknot and, you know, some scary stuff. But that, you know, I'm a metal kid at heart. That's what I grew up playing, was metal, but I love James Taylor.
Glad you're a fan.
What's that?
My name is James Taylor.
James Taylor! I love your work. Yes? Oh. Well, you know, I was... two of the members of Journey, Jonathan Cain and Neil Sean, found me when I was 22 in a club in San Francisco. And they were starting a new band, and it was called Bad English. We had a bunch of #1 songs, had some hits and stuff, and that's how they found me. Neil called me and said, I want you to audition for this band. And I was, that's my first major thing. And I went down, out of 36 drummers, I got the gig. It was the coolest thing ever, and I was jumping up and down and, very happy. And so once I did that, I started playing with Neil in every other project that he was doing. He always took me along with him. I was always doing other things. And then the Journey thing came up, and that was a no-brainer. As soon as they offered, I'm like, yeah, I love this stuff. I grew up with it. So, it's a cool thing. I've been with them, like I said, 17 years. It's been the best fun of my life. I'm having a great time. Was there somebody over here?
Yeah. Oh, there's two over here.
Yes.
Do you play like classical music in high school with the band?
Yeah, they had concert band, A band, and jazz ensemble, which was what I was in. So I played the jazz ensemble, which is, the jazz stuff, but concert band, I was snare drum and cymbals, I did that kind of stuff, percussion, and then I was also in the marching band. And you guys, that was hilarious, because we had the big blue, huge Grand Poobah hats, right? They're fuzzy, and I had really long hair. So nobody knew. It was like, who's the girl playing the cymbals? It's like, good days. So I just went around the cymbals, and good times. Yes? Well, I've been in different bands for maybe a couple years, 3 years. I was with Ozzy for 4 years, Ozzy Osbourne. But yeah, Journey's the longest running thing I've been in. I joined them in '98, and I've been with them ever since. All over the world, And I love the band. I grew up listening to Journey. So when I joined in '98, I knew all the stuff. It's the soundtrack to our teen years. That's what we grew up listening to. So, it's really cool. And every night, every song, we just love it. Some of the other guys, they get a little tired of it. Gosh, I got a perpetual smile on my face all night long. I just love it. It's fun. Yes?
What advice would you give to inspired singer-songwriter?
A singer-songwriter? Wow. I guess just follow your bliss. Especially if you're a singer-songwriter, you're going to write songs. It's going to be part of your heart. It's going to be part of what you are and who you are. You're going to write from your experiences. So my advice is just to be honest and true with yourself and in your music, You don't want to write anything that's not you. Because most songwriters that are successful, like Mr. James Taylor, they wrote from their heart. It was all about, singing and writing what they felt, their life experiences. So that's the advice I have for you, is just play from your heart. Follow your bliss. That's a big one. Follow your bliss. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you the most content in life, do that. Yes, sir.
Do you like studio performances more or live performances more?
I like live. Live's more fun. You got, 25,000 people going crazy when you do Don't Stop Believing. It's pretty awesome. Studio's fun, but it's obviously a different thing. It's a different can of worms there. It's very sterile. It can be very sterile, especially nowadays with digital, recording and stuff like that. And it's very regimented. You've got a song. You've got to, okay, I got to do this. I've got to stay at this, and then a chorus, I'm on the ride cymbal doing my thing. It's very structured, how you record songs. Live, it's like no holds barred. I just go. Whatever I want to play, I play. Sometimes I get in trouble for that. But we call it the stink eye. Guitarist Neil, if I'm playing like some dope bass and just ripping it up, he just turns around and he's like, stink eye. Then you kind of, oh, sorry, bro. So yeah, but I love live the most. It's the most fun. The traveling, being on the road is hard. The traveling's difficult, being away from, even though I bring Dee Dee with me all the time now. She's with me at all times. But being away from my kids, being out of my home, living out of a suitcase, that's the hard part. The most fun is that hour and a half when you're on stage and you're playing. That's the coolest part. The rest of it, I could do without, honestly. Yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite song from the band?
From Journey? Oh, gosh. I would say Escape. And that's off the Escape record. That's one of my favorites because it's just, I remember when I first got the Escape record, and that's the first song that you hear on the record. I was like, this is so cool. The drummer, actually Steve Smith, the original drummer, who's a very good friend of mine, when I heard him play it, it was just like, oh my gosh, listen to him go. He's just a monster drummer. Monster. So that's my favorite. But, everybody thinks, I love Don't Stop Believing, of course. I love Open Arms, Love Faithfully. I love all those ballads because I grew up with those ballads. A lot of the songs remind me of Dee Dee when we were growing up. Because, I've known her since she was a little girl. She was 14 when I first met her. But You know, so a lot of songs we listen to and we grew up with, and there'll be times I'll look at her and go, do you remember when we were here and we heard that song? And we remember what we were doing? Good things, you know. It's a soundtrack to my teen years, I gotta say. So, yes?
So it's my best friend Holly's birthday. Can you sing to her?
You know, if I could sing right now, let me just be honest with you. I'm just getting over that darn bronchitis thing that everybody's been running with. It's been horrible. So I took my last round of antibiotics 2 days ago, so my voice is shot right now. That's why it sounds like I've been, you know, gargling Drano. It's pretty gnarly. But I loved it. One day I will. One day I will. I promise. Yes?
What's your favorite song to play from Journey?
My favorite song to play? Man. Okay, I'm going to ask you. When you see me playing, what's the one that I have the biggest smile on my face when I'm playing it? That's what I need to ask it. La Di Da. There's a song called La Di Da. It's the shuffle, like... And it's like, I do double bass, you know, I metal it all out. But yeah, that's a fun one. That's Mother, Father, that's, I sing on that one. Still They Ride. She's my biggest fan right here. Thank God. She's awesome. We gotta give her a she's had to put up with a lot of me on the road and the crazy schedules. And, you know, when I don't get enough sleep, I'm grumpy sometimes. And she's got to deal with the grumpy. It's like, are you serious? Go back to bed. She's awesome. She's my saving grace. She's my best friend, and you know, it's a beautiful thing to marry your best friend, and it's for real. She was my best friend. I've known her since she was a little kid. So we kind of grew up together. I'm 5 years older than you. Yeah. Yeah. So I knew her when she was a little one, and then she grew up and became this stunning, beautiful woman that she's now. So lucky to have her. I bow. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Speaking of like playing live and stuff, for a band that's just starting out, where would you recommend us going and searching for like getting gigs?
Okay, you guys are pretty young. What are you guys, 16, 17 in that area? Okay. So you're not going to be able to play clubs right away. Obviously, that's the thing. There's things you can do like maybe Boys and Girls Clubs. They have events and stuff they do. Even like, you know, if there's like summer concert things like the concert in the park. You've heard about these things, some of those things here. You know, you get on those kind of things. I think the biggest thing you can do is get some sort of demo together. You know, 3 or 4 songs that showcases what you guys do, you know, and then you can send it out to these little promoters or whatever that, you know, they put together these little park shows and stuff. That's how you get your feet wet. That's when I had to, because they wouldn't let me in a club. I mean, they did when I was 17. I was able to play some clubs, but they would bring me in, put me on stage, I'd play, and I'd have to go sit in the kitchen. You know, during the breaks, they would not let me out in, you know, where their alcohol was served. So. Yeah. Those kind of things. Or even put on your own shows. Maybe you can do a show here at, you know, South Albany. I mean, there's lots of stuff you guys can do. Yeah. So, but that's the biggest thing is you just open your eyes and open your ears and find some stuff. There's stuff to do. Yes. Stop.
Okay, so I'm a 100% self-taught.
Awesome.
It's so tough.
Believe it. You know, that's a hard one, bro. I mean, I was self-taught, really. I took lessons a couple times with a couple different teachers, but you know what I did? I listened to records. And I'm talking vinyl records, and things you guys barely know about.
I use them all the time.
They're the greatest, aren't they? Yeah. They have the best sound ever. But that's what I did. I would listen to records. I'd plug in and listen to Rush and Kiss and, you know, Van Halen, and that's how I learned how to play. You put on the headphones and play to it. I mean, that's the best thing you can do if you're self-taught. Just put in every song, everything that you like, and just listen. And you'll pick it up. That's what I did. You know, a lot of guys read music, and that is a cool thing. It's huge to read music. You know, I never learned to read. I was just, you know, I saw Kiss, and I wanted to play in Kiss. And they were, you know, they were doing this, you know, turning the pages. So that's what I learned to do. I just learned listening to records. So just play everything you can. Like I was telling the other guys, play everything you can and listen. Good ears. I remember Buddy Rich, one of the greatest drummers of all time. Never read a lick of music. Never. It was all, he would listen to the band, he would listen to the jazz band play, pick it up and have it nailed in one take. He was just that good. He had a good ear. So, yes?
Will you sign something for me?
What's that?
Will you sign something for me?
For $20? No. That's my line, guys. The $20 thing is awesome. Yeah, I can't hear a little bit. Sure, let me answer one question. We can do that. Yes? Well, you know, I've played everything from speed metal, to hard rock, to pop. I've played some country stuff. I've done contemporary Christian records. I did some punk records. Let me see, what else? There's all kinds. I've done so many different, there's a lot of instrumental, like jazz guitarist, solo records. I've done a lot of different stuff. I've learned everything. I've tried. My favorite music to play, honestly, is metal. I love metal. That's what I grew up with Metallica and Slayer, and that's what I grew up listening to, and that's the first big bands that I was in, or the first bands where we were playing a lot. I was in a band in Portland called Wild Dogs, which had a record deal with Enigma Capital at the time, and we did, it was heavy metal. That's what I liked, She and I both grew up in that metal thing with Iron Maiden, that whole 80s, So, what's that?
Big hair.
Yeah, big hair. We had big hair. You should have seen pictures of me. You guys should see. I was a poodle boy. Fluffy, very fluffy, very fluffy. Yes, do you know that? A Rubik's Cube. I have a feeling I'm going to be soon. Do you have one? I'll be signing back there. Awesome. Yes.
What's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? Seafood. Anything I see, I'll eat. It's seafood. I think, my favorite, Dee Dee's an amazing cook, I gotta say. And she makes this taco, is it taco soup? It's incredible. And you put some, the sour cream on that thing. I'm surprised I'm not bigger than I am. She's really good. Anybody else? Yes.
What's your favorite tattoo? What's your favorite tattoo that you've got?
Wow. Honestly, it's this one here. If you see it, it says Deidre Ann. That one's dear to me because it's her. You can tell I'm like totally in love with this one. I mean, it's like ridiculously. It's like, yeah, that one was really special to me. But also I had, if you guys see it, I don't know if you guys see that. It's the creation of Adam. It's on the Sistine Chapel. It's the two hands. Oh, yeah. You see that? Yeah. I've actually had elderly people come up and go, that's a beautiful tattoo. I really like that, which is rare because usually they're figuratively looking. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. But I don't have anything scary. I made sure I didn't put anything on that would freak out my kids. So I got like faith, grace, love, hope. Nothing scary. No scary secret. None of that stuff. I would tell you, I got my sons up here. I got some scriptures with them, and I got one here with my other son, and that's about it. Nothing real bad,
Grace, that's all out of Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he knows this stuff. Yeah. So that's why I grew up with that. So, I wanted to put stuff on that I'd be okay with when I'm 90, and it's like dripping down my hair. Because it's going to happen. Yes?
I have a doctor's appointment, but can I take a picture of you really fast?
What's that now?
I have a doctor's appointment, so I have to leave, but can I take a picture?
Sure you can, yeah. Let's get this picture before she has to, don't want to miss your doctor. Have a good doctor.
Why don't we just take maybe a couple more,
Sure.
and then we got to get some kids to lunch.
Yeah, you guys eat. Yeah, I understand. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I do. There's a lot of great bands out there, but what I gravitate towards is more of the metal type stuff. I mean, there's bands like Stone Sour that I love. I'm really a big Stone Sour fan. I like that kind of stuff. There's a lot of cool bands that do that. But there's a ton of great ones. Imagine Dragons, awesome band. Muse, I love the Muse. They're great bands. And the neat thing is they're playing music, and it's not just, that sampled thing that you hear with, a lot of the hip-hop stuff, which I love as well. I love some hip-hop as well. But it's just, for me as a drummer, it's a bummer, because it's machines. It's not a real drummer playing it. It's taking my job. I don't think that at all. So,
Darn robots.
yeah, exactly. Yes?
What's your favorite metal band?
Slipknot. They're good friends of they love Journey, believe it or not. They've come and seen us play a couple of times, and they're really, really big Journey fans, and I just love them. And the new drummer they got, have you heard this new drummer?
Yes.
You know who that is? Max Weinberg, the drummer for E Street Band? It's his son, Jay. He's a monster. Anyway, yes, one more. Inspiring artist. Now, what kind of artist? Again, like I was telling the gentleman over here, it's follow your heart. Really, you got to follow your heart, and whatever it's drawing or painting or writing, singing, whatever. You got to draw from your own heart, your own experiences. I mean, you can take other things that you see, but most of the time when you're seeing stuff and you're writing about something on the outside, it's how you're feeling about that issue on the outside. It's got to be from here. A saying, I remember one guy said, Picasso didn't paint by numbers. And that's a huge thing. It's like, you can go through the motions and you can do all this, but you're not playing from here, you're not writing from here, you're not painting from here. It's really not, it's not you. I mean, being an artist is a reflection of you and your abilities. And that's the most important thing. Be you. Be you and right from you. You know, God gave you an amazing heart. Show it to the world. Okay, you guys ready for lunch?
Dean, before everybody goes, I just want to, the whole band signed a card and a letter that one of our members wrote here, and so we just want to get us here and say thanks for everything.
Thank you guys.